So let's jump into Right, first things first, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on men because I'm really not. I love men. But hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alexis Blake. I am a trans woman and I share my life stories and opinions on social media. How are you doing today? I'm actually really excited for this video. It's a bit of a different one for me. So we're going to be reacting, well, it's kind of different, but kind of not different. So we're going to be reacting to some videos as usual. However, I went on Instagram for a deep dive of trending trans videos, the most viewed, the most viral, let's say, trans videos. We're talking like 5 million views, 13 million views, crazy numbers. We're going to be reacting to them today, whether they're good or bad, whether it's from trans people who we might think are positive influences or negative, I don't know. We're going to see what comes up. So if that's your kind of thing, grab a drink, grab a cup of tea, coffee, wine, whatever floats your boat, sit down, relax, and let's jump into this video. Where their grass is really greener. Oh my gosh, this video's had 15,000 comments and over 500,000 likes, wow. Why is it always men? Okay. Leo is a fab content creator. I've been following him for a good few years now. His videos are really entertaining, interesting, educational, funny. He seems like a really great guy. So let's jump into Right, first things first, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on men because I'm really not. I love men. But a lot of the times, negative comments, and I'm speaking from experience here as well. Negative comments a lot of the time come from men, and I just find that really curious. I'm not saying I know the answer as to why that is. Maybe you can enlighten us in the comments below if you know why you think maybe more negativity comes from men. Maybe women are thinking it, they just don't say it, I don't know. But I've noticed that myself a lot on all of my videos when I get sort of negative feedback or critiques. It's generally from men. Anyway, I always love these videos when someone gets the mean comments and then just shows pictures of those people. I mean, if you're going to go on the internet, we all know this, if you're going to go on the internet and you're going to comment mean things on people's videos, which I can't personally understand, but if you're going to go and do that, then you should be exposed for it. And I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's fully valid, and I don't disagree with what he's done at all. I think it's entertaining, but it's also calling people out on their BS, which I think is really, really cool of him. I don't mind constructive comments or comments that are a conversation about something important, but just being mean about someone for the sake of it, I don't really get why. It comes across as jealous, either jealous or that they fancy him. It's one or the other, and it's a bit icky, isn't it? Anyway, that's video number 1. Video number 2. I think this one's had like 15 million views. This is one of the highest viewed videos.
I don't care if I look trans. What if I said that looking like a cis woman wasn't the goal? I know I don't look like a man, and insults only hurt when there's a little bit of truth to them, and I know that's not true. But what if I said I don't mind if you can tell that I'm a trans woman? What if I said that I like looking visibly queer so that other queer people can spot me in public? What then? What then? So what if I said
okay. Let's unpack that. There's a lot to unpack there. First of all, I'm loving the hair thing. When I've got my extensions in, oh, she's still going when she's doing that. I find that funny. Anyway, the video, where to begin unpacking it. I kind of disagree, but then it's just personal. It's just a personal feeling. So it doesn't invalidate her feelings at all. She has every right to want to pass, not want to pass. Every trans person is different. For me personally, one of my goals, and I've always said it, and it still is to this day, is to pass as a woman. That's how I feel most like myself when I'm navigating the world and people don't clock me or notice me for being trans. If you don't know what clock clocking is, it's just when, you might do, but just in case, if you don't know what clocking is, it's when someone clocks a trans person, they notice someone for being trans. For me, it was always about passing, and I know that it's maybe not the healthiest thing to put so much emphasis on. I've definitely calmed down with it the further into my transition I've got, and I've alleviated my gender dysphoria. But that's just a personal thing though, so we're just going to start right there. Going on to the next thing, I love the confidence, I love the attitude. I think it's fab. I think if that's how she wants to navigate her own transition, I praise her for that. I think it's amazing. And she doesn't look like a man. Oh, she's beautiful. I love her eyebrows. The fierce, absolutely amazing. And I think it's a nice way to look at it, because obviously, like trans people, whether you're trans or not, let me know if you're trans in the comments, hi, or if you're not trans, hello. But with trans people, I think that's a really interesting thing, because I remember earlier on in my transition, if I'd see someone in public who I clocked or who I noticed as being trans, it made me feel more comfortable, because I knew there was someone else around who had a similar lived experience as me. But obviously when people begin to pass, that sort of knowing who's trans and who's not goes away. So we're obviously always around trans people. 1 in 100 people are trans, or so the statistic is at the moment. That's the last time I saw any number put on it. 1 in 100. You're always going to be walking past people on the street, but you just might not know it. But yeah, I like the video. I like the attitude. I like the confidence. I think it's a really positive thing to say. Obviously, bearing in mind, a lot of these people, these are the first videos. Like, I've not seen any of her other videos, so I'm not sure how her other content is. Let's move on to the next one. So far, 2 out of 2 positive videos. Like, it's nice. It's refreshing. I think this content creator is called Belle.
Short hair is like awesome. Do you?
If you have short hair.
Don't do that. I look like a transgender version of Margaret Thatcher every day. I look like I've been mauled by wolves. I wake up every day looking like I've barely got through them. How am I ever going to get a boyfriend? I think girls with short hair. It's not. You have the chance, get out. Don't do it.
Okay, Belle, you look beautiful. It's a bit crazy because it's morning hair, but she is still a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful human being. I mean, it just needs a little bit of neat. It needs a good brush, that's it. I remember, because obviously growing out my hair, this is obviously extensions. My hair's there right now, so it's getting quite long now. But I obviously had every single stage of hair because I had most of my hair shaved off. Sorry, my nose is running. Huh? Throughout growing my hair out, I've had every stage of different hairstyles along the way. We had a pixie cut, we had the weird asymmetrical thing, we had the very short chin bob, which I was not a fan of at all. I then had a long bob, it was really curly when my transplant was growing out. I've had all the awkward lengths, the mullet, I've had it all. So I know for me personally, a bob is not for me, but my face did look different then. It was pre-surgery, so I don't know, maybe I'll get a bob one day, but I'm still in the process of wanting my hair this long. So once I get here, I'll probably get bored and then want to change it. But it does make me nervous when I see these videos of girls getting, or trans women getting bobs, and then they regret it or they don't feel as feminine, because I think there's just something for me in my idea of femininity. Long hair is what makes me feel feminine personally. So I don't know how I'd feel with short hair, but saying that, I don't know why I'm pointing, sorry, that's really rude. I just went shopping last weekend with my mum, and I've always been, this is how I've dressed a lot throughout my transition, maybe a little bit more covered up for work, but I've never wore t-shirts in my transition because I felt really masculine in them, but now I'm getting so comfortable in myself that I bought t-shirts again, and I'm going out in t-shirts and jeans. It's wild that I've done like a full 360. I don't know if any other trans people can relate to that, like you start your transition, I went in as hyper feminine as possible because I wanted to be as feminine as possible. I've sort of dipped back down and I'm looping back around now to more masculine clothes. I just find that really fascinating. There's probably a really interesting psychological reason behind all that. I don't know what it is, but I just thought I'd let you know. Anyway, Belle, you look beautiful, so you don't need to worry. Stunner, absolute stunner. Let's move on to the next video. I've seen this couple before. I love this couple. So it was a man and wife, and the husband has transitioned. She's beautiful, and I love their videos. They get a lot of views, their videos, so let's watch one. OMG, OMG, OMG. Like, this is just a little, I don't know if you can focus on that. That's their page. I think they both post content on there. 63 million views on that video. I mean, wow. I love following her journey. She documents a lot of it. So if you ever want to follow her, she's called Shay Scott. Beautiful, beautiful journey. She spoke about her surgeries and stuff. I think that's amazing. It's so cool to see. It's very rare, but it's also really cool to see when couples stay together through transition. It's not that often. So, and I understand it's every person's personal choice, let's say. So I could never imagine how it is to be in that situation with a partner transitioning until you're in it. Even though I've seen Liam, how amazing he's been and how he has dealt with it, I wouldn't know how I'd deal with it unless I was in that situation. But I would still love him. But it's hard for some people. Some people can't handle it, and it doesn't always work out in the end. So it's lovely to see when it does. So I love their content. So highly recommend. 3 out of 3 positive videos, guys. You're doing really well. I have a feeling a negative one's coming. Right, next video.
My name's Chris and I'm trans, and I tell you that because sometimes I get comments on my posts that say, I can tell that you're still a woman, but then I get other comments saying, I can tell that you're still a man, directly underneath. And I posted this the other day, and then it started all these comments saying, I can tell, and then something really lovely, like, I can tell that you're awesome, I can tell that you're kind. And so the idea is we're going to turn I can tell into a trans allyship movement, okay? So comment below with the hashtag I can tell, and then complete the sentence with something lovely. We're going to show people that trans people are not alone, and this current political climate is going to be a flash in the pan because there are more people supportive of trans people than not.
Oh, I love that. Positive message. Again, positive. Love that, Chris. That video has like millions of views. 3.2 million views. Wild. And he's also a comedian. That's awesome. I think it's a positive message, and I think it's a really positive message, so I absolutely love that, number one. Number two, I can absolutely relate. That is one of the comments that people think will hurt me or get to me the most, is I can tell. And it did used to get to me, in all honesty, a little bit at first, but when I see it now, I am very much happy in my own skin now and confident, so it just sort of goes over my head now. But it is a mechanism that people use to get to trans people or try and upset trans people. And again, it always comes down to, for me, like, if you're going to take the time out of your day to send a nasty comment or a hurtful comment, a not very nice comment, I just wonder, does that not reflect more on the person sending it than the receiver, if that makes sense? That's kind of my opinion there. But he seems like an okay guy, and I think that's a really positive thing, turning something negative into a positive. So I love that. Far positive. We've got time for one more. Let's have one more. This has been a really positive video. I've loved doing it. Okay, here we go.
1 day on testosterone.
This is my voice 1 week on testosterone. This is my voice 4 weeks on testosterone.
This is my voice 8 weeks on testosterone. This is my voice 12 weeks on testosterone. This is my voice 3 months on testosterone. This is my voice almost 16 weeks on testosterone.
This is my voice 4 months on testosterone.
This is my voice 20 weeks on testosterone. This is my voice 5 months on testosterone. This is my voice 6 months on testosterone.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Amazing video. Linda6 _ that's their username on Instagram. Wow. Wow. This is the thing that's always baffled me, right? And if you don't know, with transition, obviously, I've taken estrogen to transition, and he would have taken testosterone. Testosterone makes the voice break and drop, as we could hear throughout that entire video. And I've always found that so fascinating, because testosterone does that for trans men, but for trans women, if we've already gone through male puberty and our voice has already dropped, the estrogen won't change our voice. It doesn't do anything at all, because the muscles in the vocal cords have already thickened. So the way that we either change our voice is by voice training, or it is by surgery. I do get asked this sometimes, so if you're curious how I've got my voice to where I've got it to, it's a mixture of things, really. I've not had surgery or vocal surgery. I think had a naturally high-ish voice. When I say high-ish, I mean I spoke in a high-ish register to begin with. And then over time, I've just sort of watched a couple of videos, not many if I'm being completely honest, but I've just sort of gauged how people have responded to me, like strangers. Like if I'm in a shop, I say, oh, thank you. But if I used to go, oh, thank you, oh, That's really weird to do. That wasn't quite where it was though, but a little bit deeper there, but then they did have a bit of shock and it was just picking it up over time. And I've found a place that sort of sits comfortably with me. So I'm happy with my voice now, so I don't feel any need for surgery. But with trans men, going back to the video, it's always fascinated me how their voice drops so quick. They can grow. Sometimes a lot of trans men do get facial hair from the hormones. And can we talk about his eyes? The big blue eyes, they're beautiful. I'm so jealous of his eyes. But again, another positive video, just showing that you could see the happiness in his face through each clip. And I think that's just such a lovely thing to see. If it's the right thing for someone to do and it's making them happy. I always find it fascinating as well with trans men when a woman transitions to a man, trans man. I find it so interesting how like they cut the hair, change into masculine like baggy clothes, and then they get facial hair and a deeper voice. And I think sometimes it's not quicker to pass. I don't want to offend any trans men, but sometimes it requires like less surgery, or they blend in quicker than a trans woman, because obviously as a trans woman you're generally taller, broader, deeper voice, Adam's apple, these more giveaways, let's say. So I've always found that really interesting. But I'd be really interested to hear from some trans men. If I'm wrong, please call me out. Obviously I haven't experienced transitioning from the other way to what I've done. Anyway, if you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post 1 to 2 videos every week of me sat here in my little studio chatting away, reacting to things, and me and my husband also have the Blake Debate, which is our podcast as well. I really genuinely expected half these videos to be negative, or a trans person getting misgendered, shouting, screaming. We know there's lots of them online, but on my page, my algorithm on Instagram, when I just searched the word transgender, the most viewed videos were all positive, which is lovely. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, bye, goodbye.